Hey everyone, I'm Joel on the road, and today my UNESCO World Heritage journey is at the historic centre of Budapest in Hungary. This is Budapest, capital city of Hungary. There's over 2,000 years of history and culture here. It's a really cool spot. Now, the World Heritage area here covers several different districts. The castle area, where I am now, the banks of the Danube, which you can see behind me, and Andrassy Avenue, one of the coolest shopping streets in all of Europe, and the focus of the city's eastward expansion during the 19th and 20th centuries. Let's check it out. Now this is the Matthias Church, and it's perched right on top of the castle mount here in Budapest. Now it's one of the most iconic buildings of the city, and it's been here since the 14th century when it was rebuilt. The original church was built by St. Stephen, the first king of Hungary. Now what's really interesting as well is that this church was briefly a mosque during the Ottoman occupation in the 16th century. So this is the castle district of Budapest, and it stands on a high hill on the Buda side of the river. Now, it's been here for over 1,000 years, but very little of that era of building remains. Most of it is from the 17th and the 18th centuries. Now, it's a bit unusual for a castle because it's actually a district, not a castle itself. It's not like Edinburgh, where it's a fortress on top of a hill. It's actually just a large collection of buildings surrounded by a wall. These days, mostly museums. And of course, the kings and the emperors of Hungary are long gone, but the president of Hungary still lives here. This is the Chain Bridge, the earliest of the bridges spanning the Danube in the middle of Budapest. Now, it was opened in 1849, and prior to this, the two cities, Buda and Pest, were pretty much entirely separate entities. They had very little to do with each other than proximity, of course. And this was a major step in unifying the two cities, which happened about 20 years later. Now, it was built by the finest engineers of the day, Scotsmen in fact, and it was considered at the time to be an engineering marvel. Sadly, it was blown up by retreating German forces during World War II after the siege of Budapest, but it was rebuilt and reopened in 1949. The colossal building you can see behind me is the Hungarian Parliament. Now, although it looks very old, it actually dates from the 19th century when it was built in the neo-Gothic style. It's really big because historically Hungary was much larger than it is today, and it was sort of built in the expectation that Hungary would be much larger again. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened, and now large parts of the building are unused. This is Andrassy Avenue, and it's one of the main arteries leading out of Pest. It was designed and built in the late 19th century to reorient the city along with its eastward growth. Directly underneath the street surface lies the Underground Railway, and the street itself is lined with expensive shops, fancy boutiques, and many beautiful buildings. Now this is a first. The World Heritage area here in Budapest actually covers the subway system too, and it's the second oldest in the world, apart from only the one in London. It's just got these beautiful Belle Epoque stations, and the trains are extremely frequent, as you can hear. It's fantastic. I really love it. So behind me is Heroes Square at the top of Andrassy Avenue. Now, I'm not entirely sure what's going on today. It's not usually full of police cars, but this is a spot that's crucial to the modern Hungarian identity. It was the center of the 1956 uprising in which many people were killed, and of course the 1989 revolution as well, which established democracy in Hungary. It's just such a beautiful city, Budapest. I feel like I've only scratched the surface of the World Heritage site here, but I am going to have to call it quits. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Joel on the road, and I'll see you at the next World Heritage site.